Greetings, this is Goku 50, and it looks like I'll be Fort last to get the memo to talk about this subject, as the subject has already exploded and gone viral all over YouTube. Well, once again, there's another bill in the Senate and in Congress that once again threatens our YouTube way of life, and that is S-Bill 978. I'm sure you've already seen those other videos and those massive other rants talking about it. That would make video streaming itself illegal, even if you have fair use content. Primarily this targets video games. It's illegal to streamline video game reviews. Talk about bad timing, because I was about to do a couple of video game reviews. Naturally, this has gotten the entire YouTube community an explosion. Now, one thing I'm noticing and I'm getting frustrated about is this makes bill number 3 that is attacking, well, our YouTube and internet freedom of speech way of life. I already did a video talking to you guys about net neutrality, which gives the FCC jurisdiction over the internet. I already talked to you guys about the COICA bill. Now, the good news about the COICA bill is that is stuck in either the House or the Senate. It got past committee, but I haven't seen or heard from it since, which means it's probably DOA, dead on arrival, somewhere. Net neutrality, again, is the government's way of regulating the internet. The COICA bill targets movies, television, and whatnot, which would affect our reviews. Anime as well, anime reviews. And it looks like Bill 978 is targeting video games, more specifically streaming video games. Naturally, of course, I'm against this bill, as well as all the others. Leave the frickin' internet the way it is alone. Obviously, there are severe criminalities out there pirating video games and so on, but there are laws already on the books. This is what I call piling the law on top of laws. Here's where I want to get a little cynical first. I'm going to get a little cynical here, and that is, what is going on? We have the net neutrality, COICA, and now this bill. A thought occurred to me when I was driving on my way here. What is going on? Do they want us off the internet or something? Is there something going on? There's an old-fashioned phrase. Are we getting too close to them? It's kind of like it was said in Batman Begins. Are we rattling their cage too much? Are we getting too close to the truth? And so on. The internet has been, in my lifetime, an amazing thing. Now, I'm old enough to remember life before the internet. Before 1995, I never used the internet. I'm old enough to remember that era, when you really were totally reliant on the mainstream media, totally reliant on regular 6 o'clock news, cable news, and newspapers. Well, now, thanks to the internet, we can go find our own news, our alternative news sites, and so on. And you know what I've noticed? Those alternative news sites actually do more investigative journalist stories. Sure, of course, there's the kooky, crazy, conspiracy theorist websites that the internet is best known for, but there's a lot more legitimate news sites coming out there. And the people who do not trust the mainstream media anymore because they see it as a lapdog media. The media is supposed to be a watchdog, not a lapdog. Kind of like during the Bush years, how everybody said Fox News was being a lapdog to the Bush administration, and now MSNBC is being a lapdog to the Obama administration, and CNN is doing absolutely nothing but doing incredibly boring stories. In fact, in so much CNN is now falling behind MSNBC and Fox in the ratings for the first time in its history. There's no more investigative journalism anymore. There's no more of this and that anymore. So people are becoming more and more reliant on the alternative media. And YouTube counts and qualifies as alternative media. As the gamers who are upset about Senate Bill 978 are pointing out, they're going to say that this will go back to the Dark Ages era, when we'll be totally reliant on Nintendo Power, or official critics who may or may not be even paid by the video game industry. You don't know what is a legitimate review and what's an advertisement. Well, they'll say, this game is great, when really it's crap. The angry video game nerd has frequently mentioned that. Then in the old Dark Ages, you didn't know if a game was good or not, and you'd spend your $50 only to find out that it's crap. The only way you'd find out is at best through word of mouth, but you couldn't go online and actually go find a real honest reviewer somewhere. Now, I just want to say this because, as some groups have pointed out, this bill is severely backed by the MPAA, which is the Motion Pictures Association of America, official Hollywood studios, and so on. Now, I am all for you guys making money. I plan to do that someday myself. But the thing here is this. You guys are already making several hundreds of millions of dollars on these movies and so on. And by the way, YouTube is not uploading The Green Lantern. They're not uploading films that are currently in theaters. Now, as for the video games, let me go back to the video games here. As DSP has pointed out, and I've never even heard of this guy until his rant has happened, as he has pointed out, and he should mention this in his case, video games are always a different experience. It's not like a movie where the exact same scene is going to happen at the exact same point. I mean, you can't change anything about the movie. What happens at minute 125 is going to happen at minute 125. But in video games, you can go left, you can go right, you can go this direction, you can go that direction. So you're giving your own input into the story, meaning, in a way, it is officially part of you now, which means that you now have a copyright input. And now it's going to be a crime to just watch someone play a video game and upload that, and I can't believe the video game companies are this insanely retarded to not know that that is free advertisement. I am sure some of you have probably seen an Angry Joe review or whatever, and you liked what they talked about and probably went out and got the game. So now we're going to have to go back to getting an edition of Nintendo Power. Sure, that'll be nostalgic in a way, but let's face it, the reviews were not as accurate as they could have been. That being said, here's the good news. I doubt this bill S978 will pass. And if it does, let me give you guys some hope. Let's get something straight here. Congress is severely busy right now with the debt crisis. Now here's where I'm going to attack Congress, and I was going to talk about this anyway. I cannot fathom how insanely pissed I am at all of them because of the fact that, oh gee, don't we have other issues going on? Like, oh, I don't know, a $14 trillion debt to worry about? You know what's really pissing me off is that Social Security is going to go broke soon. A system I and you have paid into, and we're not going to get anything out of it by the time we're senior citizens. We have a $14 trillion debt that our generation has to worry about. In fact, that $14 trillion is just the first payment. If you include benefits, it's $63 trillion in debt. And again, this is the thing that the Congress has given us. Congress, you have given us a $14 trillion debt. It's bad enough that you're giving me a $14 trillion debt to my generation, but now you got the gall to take away our video games too? And you're wondering why your approval ratings are between 10 and 20%. Now, here's the good news. They're not going to pass this bill this week because they're too busy talking about the debt limits, and they're too busy talking about the financial crisis. However, they may pass it for one reason and one reason only, just so that they can say, oh look, we got something done. Look, we passed Bill 978. We're not total failures. One thing that a DSP mentioned that is sadly true is that a lot of senators and congressmen do not even read the bills. And you don't believe me? Here's one congressman admitting that.
Democratic Congressman John Conyers questioned the point of lawmakers reading the health care bill.
I love these members that get up and say, read the bill. What good is reading the bill if it's 1,000 pages and you don't have 2 days and 2 lawyers to find out what it means after you read the bill?
Bill 978 was actually started by Democratic Senator from Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. She's only got 2 co-sponsors so far, and her co-sponsors are Democrat Chris Coons from Delaware and Republican from Texas John Cornyn. So sadly, this actually does have bipartisan backing, but I'm sure it'll also have bipartisan opposition. Now, this bill is severely opposed by the leftist center group Think Progress and by the EEF or EFF, I forgot which one, but I'm sure that libertarians and many others would also oppose this. Now let me tell you this much, there is an old-fashioned phrase, and that old-fashioned phrase is called politics make strange bedfellows, meaning that regardless of party lines, and I predict that libertarians and liberals are going to side on this one, especially on the video game issue, in opposing this bill. Now, here's the thing you need to know about the process. First, this bill has to go through committee. I don't know if it has or not, because so far I'm only seeing 3 names on it, which gives me the impression that it is either in committee or has not gone past committee. Now, once it goes past committee, it has to go either straight to the Senate or straight to the House first. Traditionally, it goes to the House first, but since this is a Senate bill, I'm assuming it's going to start in the Senate, and then the House has to pass it. Now, that will give us plenty of time to call, to make emails, and so on. Now, I am begging you guys to not sound threatening, do not give death threats, do not sound like a kooky nut, or else you'll actually give them more reasons to vote for it, and so on. You need to say what DSP pointed out, that when we play video games, that we're inputting our own input into that, and that we are showing clips of the video games, we are showing ourselves playing it, so that is our unique input into it. And that when we're reviewing, that is absolutely First Amendment and fair use. And again, if they really want to stop hardcore piracy, there are already laws on the books. They could sue the Pirate Bay, they can sue FileServe, and so on. Now, I'm going to let you know this. If the bill passes the House and the Senate, guess who has to sign it into law? Barack Obama. Now, I want to say this to Obama for him to keep in mind. He got 71% of the youth vote in 2008. Almost 70% of people under the age of 35 voted for Obama. Obama, if you vote for this bill, you will seriously piss off one hell of your base just in time for the 2012 election. That's just my observation.